Hey guys, Red Wire here. In my shop, you can see here behind me I got a 2004 Pontiac Grand Am with the 3.4 motor in it, V6. I'm going to show you a little bit of something I found here with the tie rod in. So give me a moment, be right back. Okay, what I have here, start up here on the bench first. Yeah, Mr. Chevy says he's got the dirtiest workbench in all YouTube. I think I got a close running for him. But here we have two tie rods. This is the one that was on the car. This is the one I just bought. And what I did is I took a chance. This car is being driven and the tie rod end pulled right off the tie rod. So what I'm going to show you here, get some light down here. I'll try to show you the tie rod end. Okay. First off, you notice how far that goes before it even begins to catch the threads. So right there I caught the threads, and you start screwing it in and it's loose. Showed that in my previous video. Just now got around to working on it and on the road for work. So my concern was that these threads were damaged bad. I mean, to lose the tie rod end while you're going down the road, that's not a good thing for anybody. So like I said earlier, took a chance and I purchased a new tie rod end. And what I want to try to show you, since my workbench is dirty, show you here the opening in these threads. You can see there we are at it looks like we're right at 525 thousandths. New tie rod end. $500 exactly. Doesn't seem like much, right? 25 thousandths. Just a couple hairs. So, let's show you the difference this way now. First off, if you can see, I'm on the threads. A little difficult there. Just over the chamfer part, I begin to catch threads. And look at this. Thread it on. Hard to do one-handed. Thread that on. I just got a couple turns on it there. Already I can feel it getting like resistance. But look at that's all the more play I've got. So, just come to reason, not all parts are equal. Looking at the old tie rod, which I'm going to grab here, this tie rod doesn't look that bad. Tie rod end, excuse me, compared to the tie rod. It should be rusted and dirty, covered in grime, but it's not. It actually looks really new. I believe what happened is somebody had a problem with the tie rod end. It probably went bad. So they went and purchased a new one, and when they did, either they weren't given the correct one or they didn't get the correct one somehow. But when they put it back together, they didn't bother to check and make sure that it fit snugly as it should. So the other testament to that is the nut, which you see there's no nut there. The nut was so tight on there, I actually had to use a torch to get it off. Now you look in here, and the threads don't look bad at all. However, you see something else down in the threads. That was Loctite. Whoever put this on had a problem with this tie rod end coming loose. So they put Loctite on it. Guys, I believe in fixing your own stuff as much as the next guy. But by all means, make sure you know what you're doing. If it's not right, I mean, in this case, the driver of this car, who just happens to be my son, and he purchased it this way. He didn't work on it himself. I do all the work. Was driving down the road, pulling into a gas station, and sure enough, the tie rod end pulled out of the tie rod. Could have been a lot worse if he was going down the road at a very unsafe rate of speed like he normally does. So just thought I'd show you. One more item I'd like to share with you. I was hoping to get away from having to do another front end alignment. The tie rod end controls your toe in, toe out. And so to do the toe in, toe out, it'll eat your tires alive if it's towed in or out too much. Although from the factory, there will be a set toe in number that you go by. So kind of show you here real quick what I did when I was doing the toe in, or I'm sorry, replacing the tie rod end. And what that is using my calipers. Before I took the nut off, I measured from the end of the tie rod back to the nut. Now, everybody will tell you this isn't very precise. I agree. I was using the calipers that could be 1 or 2 thousandths off, maybe a little more. But it turns out the measurement from the end of the tie rod to that nut was 1 inch. Then I took the 2 tie rod ends and I measured from that little grease zircon to the end of the tie rod end. And I did that again with the calipers. Did that to both of them from the center of the grease hole to the end of the tie rod end. And once you do that, it will tell you a measurement that should be the same, or you want to make them be the same. Well, these aren't. There's this new one I have is 50 thousandths shorter than this one. It's not a big problem, guys. All I have to do, now that I know the dimension from the end of the tie rod to the jam nut, I just have to bring the jam nut 50 thousandths closer. Just thought I'd share that with you. It's a good way to keep from doing that. Now, you can take a quick rough measurement, and once you get the tires on, measure on the inside to inside, same point on the tire, and then on the front, inside to inside in the front. And that will give you a measurement in inches that you compare the two numbers. The difference between the two is your toe in. There is a published number that says what that toe in value should be. So the 1958 Chevy truck has been pulled out. I'm actually in the process of cleaning it up a little bit, and I'll pull it back in and do some more work. So more videos to come on that. Meantime, I'm going to wrap this tie rod end up, get it back together, and shoot you another video. Thanks, guys.